Hey peeps, it's Jedd here from Disrupt Tutoring, and as always, it's such a pleasure to join you. Today we're going to deal with a triangle question, specifically some geometry. They've said to us in triangle PRT, which is this one over here, M is the midpoint of PR, and that we see that MR is equal to PM. And they've also said to us that MR is equal to MT, which they've indicated here. Now they've said to us, if P is equal to 25 degrees, which hasn't been noted, so we need to write that in, 25 degrees. Calculate with reasons. Reasons, super important. There are marks available for reasons, so if you don't provide the reason, you cannot get the mark. What is the size of T? So they want us to find out what this angle over there equals. Now let's see how we can do that using our 25 degrees. If we look at this triangle, what do we notice about the triangle? We notice that it's a triangle with two sides that are the same, which means it's an isosceles triangle, which they've noted for us there. We know that an isosceles triangle has angles that are the same size at the base. So we know that angle T1 is equal to angle P, which means that angle T1 must be equal to 25 degrees. And we need to provide our reason, and our reason is angles opposite equal sides. And that is nice and simple. Remember to use the reason that you've been taught in class. So before we move on, let's say that that angle is 25 degrees. Moving on to the next question, they've asked us to calculate the size of M2. So M2 is this one over there. What do we notice about M2? Do you notice that M2 is the exterior angle of this triangle over here? And what do we know about the exterior angle? Well, we know that the exterior angle M2 is equal to the sum, so the sum of the interior opposite angles. So that means M2 is equal to P plus T1, which is 25 plus 25, which is 50 degrees. And the reason here is exterior angle of a triangle. Easy as that. Remember to write the reason as it has been taught to you in class. Finally, we move on to R. Now, before we move on, let's just make our note that angle M2 is 50 degrees. Right, so the last angle we need to calculate is R over there, which is slightly more tricky or trickier, but let's see what we can spot about this triangle. Now, do you notice that this triangle over here is also an isosceles triangle, and it's got the two little markers on the sides, which means that the two angles at the base of the triangle must be equal to each other. And we know that the third angle here is equal to 50 degrees. But before we can calculate what R is, we need to try and find some sort of relationship between all of the angles within the triangle. So we know that all three angles in the triangle equals 180 degrees. So let's say that. So in maths, we can say that angle M2 plus angle T2 plus angle R is equal to 180 degrees. And that is because of interior angles of a triangle. Moving on to the next line, we know that the angle R is equal to the angle T2. So we can say, but T2 equals R. And that is because angles opposite equal sides. Brilliant. So we can rewrite that equation now. So that equation will be the M2 is equal to 50 degrees, and this is equal to R. So the R plus R is equal to 2R. So it's going to be 50 degrees plus 2R, and that equals 180 degrees. Now our last step, we need to move this 50 to that side and then divide both sides by 2. And that's going to leave us with an answer of r is equal to, so the 180 minus the 50 is going to give us 130. And 130 divided by 2 is going to give us 65 degrees. And that is that. Really nicely done. I hope this helps you. Very special thank you to our sponsors for making this video possible. Remember to check our website for more of these epic tutorial videos. If you can't find the answer to your question, remember you can send us the question and we'll respond with a personalized video just for you. Until the next time, stay epic.